It's live. It's 7 o'clock. It's Tuesday night. And good evening, guys. Now, you won't even have realized that I've gone because I scheduled a live for the first Tuesday I was away. And then I repeated a live last week. So I still filled my live slot. But most of you that have been watching me on social media will know that I have been somewhere else for 2 weeks. I have been working on a top secret project that I can't tell you anything about yet. It's really been an amazing project that's given me great insight and great growth in many, many different ways. And I can't wait to tell you about it, but I just can't do it yet. So you've just got to bear with me on that one. That one's parked and pinned for later on. However, I have revealed starting yesterday, is it only Tuesday? It is only Tuesday. I have revealed one of the secret things that I have been working on. I'm going to talk to you about that tonight, as well as a few other things. But my main focus tonight is how self-confidence is so intrinsically linked to your business performance and business growth, because I think that's an important topic to peel back the layers on. So that's the topic for tonight, guys, but I will be talking about April, how huge it is, all the things that I have got coming up that you can take advantage of, and how this month, which is the first, this is the first week of quarter two. We're in quarter two of 2023. So I want people thinking right now, first week of quarter two, how are they going to tackle the rest of the year? So for those of you that are joining me on all platforms that maybe don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson and I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, I'm a creative retreat owner here in Scotland, and I help creative women to launch, grow and scale their businesses and make more money. So now you know who I am and what I do. And every week I show up at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night to share some value with you, to help you in your business. So tonight I'm talking about self-confidence. And it's funny because whenever I decide my topics for my live, something always comes up in my private membership, the Creative Mastermind. And one of the topics that came up last night was networking events. And I'm actually going to use that as an example of why self-confidence is so important and so linked to your business performance. Now, I would say many of the creative women that I work with, that I come across, that end up in my world in any way, and maybe they're working with me, maybe they're just on my network, maybe they're in my free group, the Creative Genius Corner, many of them do struggle with their self-confidence to a certain level, some more than others, some a lot. And it's a difficult thing. It's actually the first thing that I tackle in my Creative Mastermind program because it is so prevalent amongst the creative women that I come across. Many of them being introverted, many of those women being on the spectrum with ADHD or autism or other spectrum disorders that may not even be diagnosed or may be diagnosed. There are so many links between all of those things. A lot of them are sensitive human beings who feel deeply. And with all of that comes confidence issues. And in business, one of the most important things that you need is confidence in your products, confidence in your pricing, confidence in your selling. None of these things can work if you don't have a level of self-confidence in who you are and what you sell. So you can see that you're starting on the back foot in business because the internet is shouting at you. You must post, you must be visible, you must be regular, and your head's going, I can't do that. I want to hide. I don't want to post all the time. I don't want to be visible. And the internet is shouting at you. You're going to fail if you don't do this. Come and buy my thing because I can help you do this. And you're going, oh my God, I feel overwhelmed and I want to hide and I don't want to show up. And that's this fight that we have going on in our head around self-confidence. And one of my clients in the Creative Mastermind brought up, in fact, there were two complete opposite extreme examples in my group call last night that I'm going to use. I'm not going to use any names, but I am going to use it as an example. In that one of my clients had been to a networking meeting. And you know what it's like in networking meeting. It was all female. And some of the business owners were clicking together. They were in their cliques. Have you ever come across this where, they're in their cliques and they seem to be talking about stuff, not interested in you, and you're there on the outside with your thing that you want to talk about, or you want to start making connections and you don't know how to approach that. And you end up pulling back, being the introvert, talking to the staff, or actually leaving early because you feel uncomfortable. And that happens a lot in networking meetings. And yet, breaking through that barrier and talking to those people who are probably, and here's what I said to this, probably feeling exactly the same as you. They just happen to know people from previous meetings, or they've made a connection. How do you break through those barriers of those because these are self-fulfilling prophecies that sit with us. The more you feel like that, the less likely you are to break through the barriers and go and talk to these people and create relationships, because you don't get sales from selling. You don't get sales from presenting your product. You get sales from building relationships with these strangers that you don't know yet. And this can be very difficult to navigate when your confidence is at a low or not at where it should be. And one of the things I said to that was, why don't you just go up to them and say, "Hi, I'm Mandy. What is it that you do? Tell me what you do. I'm really interested to find out." And that icebreaker of a question can be everything, because people like to talk about what they do. Now, you're sacrificing there. You're not telling them about what you do. You're wanting to find out what they do. And that's a huge, huge opener for people to start conversations. And there are lots of tips I could give you, and watch out for my social media, because I'm talking about confidence today, probably tomorrow, with some tips in there. And there've been tips dropped in today, so check my news feed. But it is about you holding the accountability for being the person who steps forward and builds the relationship. Because if they're feeling the same as you, they may never do it either. And you're in this parallel universe where you're pulling away like opposites. And actually, when you do step into it and make conversation and start building relationships, I'm going to give you the opposite extreme of what can happen. So I've got another lady in my mastermind program who's been networking for a while now. She's nearly at the end of the program, and she's made networking one of her sales strategies. And just this week, she has had £6,000 worth of inquiries through networking. But that didn't happen overnight. That's taken years of consistency and years of being the person who asks the questions and speaks to people, even when she was feeling not confident in what she was doing. So that's one of the examples that I wanted to give you tonight of how confidence can be intrinsically linked to your profit and your sales. Because breaking through those barriers can mean everything. Imagine having £6,000 worth of inquiries for your business in a week through the networking relationships that you have built. That's why self-confidence is important. Now, wouldn't it be lovely if we could just press a button and we could get over all our confidence issues? It doesn't happen like that. It takes work. It takes investment in yourself, in time, sometimes in money, to work through those issues. And if you're suffering with shyness, or you are sensitive, or you're on the spectrum, or you've got ADHD, it can be even more of an uphill struggle. And people don't know that about you. You know that about you, but they don't know that about you. So it can make you feel like the weirdo in the room, the quiet one at the back, the one that feels uncomfortable. So what I want to do tonight is say, look, I have got tons of stuff in April that can help you build your confidence and see yourself and your business in a different light. When we did our 5-day challenge in January, we really up-leveled. And what I said was, can we push the glass ceiling here and up-level even more? How do we do that? How do we go even bigger? And after this one, I'm going to say, how do we go even bigger? Why do I want to go even bigger? Because I want to help more of the women that are feeling exactly like I have just described to become more successful business owners, making more money, securing their lives and their dreams. That's why. So I said, right, we've got a 5-day challenge in April. How do we make that bigger? Now, in the background, you'll have seen me release this secret yesterday. I have been working with two amazing ladies, Lucy Sheffield and Dani Louise Smith, both creatives. Lucy is an artist, Dani is a product and service-based business owner. And both of these ladies came across my radar through networking initially, and have both ended up working with me as clients. And now we are collaborating to bring you something amazing. The power of three. The power of three is coming into your world. And three creatives are bringing you a creative summit. So on the 16th of April, get this in your diaries. The 16th of April, I start my next 5-day challenge. And in that challenge, there is tons and tons of free value that will help you build your confidence. Guaranteed will help you build your confidence in your business. If you've done it before, do it again. If you haven't done it before, do it this time. Because this is written by a creative for creatives. Directly after that finishes on the 25th of April, me and Dani and Lucy, can't even remember people's names, my head, are delivering for you the Creative Summit. Now, the Creative Summit is Summit Special. It really is. 4 masterclasses over the course of one day that will blow your socks off. Blow your socks off. I'm currently writing my masterclass now. It's pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. And it's going to build your confidence as a business owner. The more you know, knowledge is power and knowledge is confidence. The more you know, the more confident that you can be in your business and in your life, because again, the two are intrinsically connected. So if you haven't signed up for either, get signed up, because the links are above or to the side, wherever it is in the description on this live. Sign up. Free 5-day challenge, free creative summit. What's not to love about that? So April for me was all about expanding my network, bringing more women in, helping more women. Obviously, for transparency, I opened the doors to my creative mastermind during the 5-day challenge, and there may be something special during the summit that I'm giving you no clues on whatsoever. If that's not for you, how about a seat in the inner circle? For the first time ever, I have opened up 10 places. In fact, not even 10, because I've sold 4 today since I first advertised it. 6 places was 10 places at an inner circle. And that's going to give you a fly on the wall view of how to do a big launch like my 5-day challenge, any launch. You're going to be behind the scenes in the WhatsApp, on Zoom, going through the pre, during, and after a launch with me and my team. All the juicy details, everything you need to know. Now, that sells for thousands with other business owners online and other coaches. And I have thrown that out this time at £125 for 10 lucky people. First 10, then it's done. And it starts a week on Friday. And it starts with you getting into my WhatsApp and seeing the conversations, and then 3 really juicy Zoom calls that reveal so much behind the scenes work. So that's the third thing I'm doing. There is then a level 3 that comes after. I'm not even going to talk to you about that yet, because that will just be like, what's she talking about? I'll talk to you about that after the challenge. But these are ways of working with me to be able to help you in your business, to be able to help you with your self-confidence. And I want to remind you guys, for those of you that are watching, for those of you that are still watching, haven't go, oh God, what's she talking about today? I'm talking about loads of juicy stuff that's free, that's going to help you. I want to remind you, because I wrote something just a couple of weeks ago. And sometimes when you write some things and when you meet new people, which I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, you realize just how much you've done. And it was 2009 when I ended up at rock bottom. And I remember what it was like sitting in that council house, and God, I loved that little house of mine. It was a godsend for me. But I had lost everything. I had lost all my money, all my savings in bankruptcy. I was bankrupt. Literally, I'd been at the bankruptcy courts. I was bankrupt. I'd lost my 13-year marriage. I'd lost my relationship with my sister, who had been one of the reasons that, I'd ended up in debt, not from her own fault, really. She was struggling with her mental health, but, it resulted in difficult behavior and overspending and, took me to a place where I really didn't want to go, but had no choice. My son was diagnosed with autism. I was made homeless. My dad died. It was just this awful, awful series of events that took me to rock bottom. And my rock bottom was a place where I really did look inward and decide to not stay there. And from 2009 to where we are now in 2023, so that's 14 years, guys, I rebuilt my life bit by bit. I rebuilt my wealth. I bought my dream home for cash 10 years later in 2019. I then lost my wonderful husband that I met a lot along the way. I then decided to follow my dreams to my castle in Scotland and ended up in my mini castle. I have this amazing retreats and bed and breakfast business here at the Art Bank in Dalbeattie. I have a 6-figure coaching business. I have 2 books published and 2 on the way. I've sell my art and multiple different programs. I've got a multifaceted, multi-income streamed business that brings me predictable income every month so that I sleep well at night. And I help thousands of creative women to start doing the same. I have my dream job. And having been away for the last couple of weeks and come back, I realize how much I love my job and how much joy I get from serving all of the people like you that are watching this tonight. I wanted to remind you of that because I've built that from nothing. I only launched this creative business 3 years and 4 months ago. And look at where we are now. I only moved into the Art Bank in 2022, the beginning of 2022. Look at where I am now. And I want you to believe and be confident. This was the point of this live tonight, that you can do it too. And it starts with saying, this is the time I'm going to learn something. This is the time I'm going to invest in me. This is the time I'm going to find the right person that can help me. Come along to my 5-day challenge. Come along to the Creative Summit. Build your confidence in you by building your knowledge. Come along to the inner circle if you want a sneaky peek at a launch. I'm opening the doors and being honest and showing you exactly what we do. All of this is on offer for you in April from me. That's my gift to you in April. April is awesome and can be awesome for you and your business. All you have to do is click that link and sign up, and then show up, and then do the work and invest the time into yourself so that you can make Q2 the quarter of the year that you made change happen. And if you haven't got your goals set for Q2 yet, and if you haven't reviewed your goals for Q1 to see how you did, and if you didn't quite get there, then now is the time to do something about it. If you leave it until next month, we're almost halfway through Q2 by the middle of next month. Yeah. So be careful. Look after yourself, look after your business, and look after your confidence. That was my message for tonight. See what happens when I go away for a couple of weeks. I come back all fired up, full of passion, ready to help, and ready to just have a thoroughly awesome April. So join me any which way you choose. I will see you next Tuesday night. We are in launch at the moment, so I'm going to be bombarding you with content, not apologizing. Sorry, not sorry. I will be throwing out 6 posts a day for the next 2 to 3 weeks, just constantly telling you what you can do and showing you what you can do if you press those buttons and invest in yourself. So it's now up to you. I'd love to have you. It's now up to you. I will see you next Tuesday. Have a totally awesome week. And I will be this hyper still by next Tuesday, sitting in this seat. So see you then.